Hi, I'm Blake, and I need to shave. So recently I filmed the first scene of my short film, and it went pretty good, but I have to admit, I'm not perfect. I know, guy on YouTube, you'd assume I'm perfect, right? But I'm not. I made mistakes, and hopefully I've learned from them, and I kind of want to talk about that with you guys today, because as a filmmaker, you need to be ready to fail, because if you're not ready to fail, then you're not ready to grow. Making mistakes is how we improve ourselves, and no one's perfect on the first go, so you have to acknowledge the fact that you're going to mess up. Because if you don't do that, you're never going to get better. I want to make it clear I'm not giving advice. You can take what I'm saying and learn from it, but I don't want you guys to think that I'm like a pro and trying to tell you exactly what you need to do on your shoot. Everyone's different, everyone works different. This is just what I've learned from what I've done recently. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Everything I learned from the shoot can be broken down into one of two pieces of advice. 1, prepare more, and 2, take more time. In terms of needing to prepare more, I need to spend more time actually reading the script. I know I wrote it, I know it, but sometimes there's like that gap between when you last read it and when you actually start to film it, where you haven't read it. And then when you actually start to film it, you kind of forget little bits and pieces. For example, there's like small action bits within the dialogue that was happening in the scene that we shot, and I completely forgot about them while we were shooting. It wasn't until I actually got to the shot where we got like a direct, dedicated shot for those parts that I remembered them. And by then we hadn't incorporated that action into their dialogue, so when I went to go edit those shots in, it just felt weird, so I just cut them, which meant entire parts of the script were just left out because they wouldn't flow together. And that sucks. That's on me. I also need to take more time to go over the motivations of the characters in every single line of dialogue and the context of the scene. I know it may sound kind of monotonous to have to go over every single line of dialogue with your actors and explain what the intentions are behind it, but I found a lot of times there were pieces of dialogue that in my head just made sense, but to the actors were like, what's the point of this? What are they trying to say? Or maybe it's not that they didn't know, they had a different idea of what they were trying to say. So making sure that you're 100% crystal clear with your actors on what's actually going on is essential. Alright, there's a plane, but I'm too impatient to wait, so I'm just gonna start. Second tip is to take my time. I need to go with my gut when I feel like something's wrong with a shot. There were a couple times where in the middle of a take, I noticed something that I wanted to change, and I thought, I'll just let the take play out, no point in cutting it off. What if it's a good take? But that thing I wanted to change ended up being a deal breaker for those earlier takes. So now I let that whole take play out for no reason. It wasted my time, it wasted their time, it wasted everyone's time for a take that ended up being completely useless because I didn't speak out soon enough. And there was another time where I noticed something and I didn't say anything about it because it kind of contradicted something I said earlier. It wasn't that I didn't want to be proven wrong, it was that I didn't want to confuse the actors, because earlier in the night I told them to do one thing, and this new thing that I had noticed kind of went against that, and I didn't want them to start second guessing everything they did. But looking back, I should have told them, because their performance was much better when it eventually was mentioned. Also, just in general, do more takes. Like, don't think that you're going to bore the actors or annoy your crew. Like, allow them to do their thing over and over again. But don't just do it over and over again. Take some breaks. Don't just rehearse once before you shoot. Rehearse between takes. Not all the takes, obviously, but like, I think it'd be best to do 5 takes, take a break and rehearse like a full rehearsal, not just something quick, like actually go through every part of the script, read every single word on that page, and then do more takes. Going forward, I'm gonna try to get 3 perfect takes with at least 1 break in between. That doesn't mean 1 take that was perfect, then a break, 1 take that was perfect, another break, although that would be nice. I mean, we can do 2 perfect takes. Okay, let's take a break and get that 3rd perfect take after. Or even if I do get 3 perfect takes in a row, I still want to take a break and re-rehearse before I get another perfect take. I noticed that as we kept going, they kept leaving out lines, and I kept forgetting to notice those lines. So I was like, oh yeah, that was perfect, I don't notice any flaws. At that point, it had been about 2 hours since anyone had last looked at the script, so of course we were going to forget stuff. So that's why I recommend take breaks to re-rehearse, refamiliarize yourself with the script. It's really hot out here, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up now. All right, so shout outs. I don't know who to shout out. I have no idea. I couldn't think of a single person to shout out. Aiden, you were a huge help this last week. I want to thank you so much for helping me out on this. Go check him out, Indecisive on YouTube. I also want to thank the other actress, Tanya. She did phenomenal. I've never met her before. That night was the first time I ever met her. And I was scared that she wasn't going to be a good fit, but she was perfect. So I really want to thank you. I also want to thank everyone else who helped. Johnny, Tommy, who helped me test out the shots. RJ and Joe, who helped me on the actual shoot. Thank you guys so much. All right, like and subscribe, all those classic YouTuber things. Hit that bell, and I'll see you guys next time.